Hey, how you doing, figure freaks? Welcome back to the channel. We're back at it again, doing another action figure review. Today we are doing the classified G.I. Joe series Snake Eyes version 4. As you can see on the side of the box, he is 165 in the line. We got those asset symbols and that QR code, which are pretty worthless, I would say. And then on the back of the box, we got some nice action shots here. Let's get a closer look. We got these two little more private shots of his more, I guess, respectable body parts. But down here we got the, looks to be some throwing daggers, all in their little holsters right on his thigh. And then up here we got his head, nice and closed up. We got the ventilated, like, mask, I guess, and then the ski goggles, maybe? I don't know. And then over here we have a nice, beautiful action shot. We got his little grappling hook, so he just climbed up a mountain, and he's about to throw down with what looks to be 3 Fang copters, which I'm screaming for in the classified line. I want those fangs. I think that they are iconic enough. They were, I think, the first vehicle that came out for the G.I. Joe Real American Hero line in the 80s. I think they could squeeze it inside of the $100 price point, even with a pilot. I think that the Fang would be smaller than, say, your Stinger or your Vamp, those Jeeps. Yeah, I would love to see that, and I think in 2026, let's hope that we get a fanged copter. And you know, we got the skis on the side here. The original had the little knobs on there or whatever, so that you could stand your figures. You know, you'd put the footholes on there, and they would plug in and stand on the skis, so you could actually have 3 of your Cobra guys on one Fang copter. One guy standing on each ski, and then of course the pilot up there. So moving rotors would be pretty fun to buy a couple of those and have them battle it out with Wild Bill and the Dragonfly. So this is version 4. We haven't had a version 3 yet, but you know, with GI Joe Classified, they don't go in any order. They just start spewing out these figures. Just looking at the front of the box here, looking pretty good. Nice update to the original figure. The paint looks good. Let's open this bad boy up. All right, out of the box and still in the plastic prison, we got the action figure and all his accessories. Just to take a quick look, we got the grappling hook, we got the gun with silencer, which is a repaint. I know for sure that this was, I believe the Crimson Twins had these guns, and I'm sure we've seen it elsewhere, maybe with Baroness. Of course, the swords, we see this every time we see a Ninja, Storm Shadow, Kamakura, Snake Eyes, etc. Not sure if this red here is supposed to be blood splatter or it's some kind of a design. And of course we got the holster or sheaths that plugs into the back, so he can slide both swords in there and carry them around while he switches to going with the gun, which we know Snake Eyes doesn't really discriminate. You know, he gun or sword, whatever, he'll do it. So. And we also, just to note, we got this blue backer board with the star on it, G.I. Joe. It's going to the bin. All right, out of the box, out of the packaging, we got all the accessories. Let's take a closer look. Here's the 2 swords. Now, I think this is just by design. They're not trying to make things all bloody, I think, but just a good look at these swords there. Nice little grips on the handle. So I think they're the exact same length. Yeah, I think they're identical. So those are the 2 swords. And then the little backpack sheath just comes with the 2 slots for the swords. And then of course we got the peg that fits in the back. Then we got the grappling hook. And then of course we got the rope. It's probably about 1 foot long. So you can go mountain climbing with alpine or something. And then of course the gun. It's got a little bit of red on there. I do like this gun a lot. The clip does come out, as does the silencer. Pops off, pegs back in pretty easily. You got the hole in there for blast effects. Pretty awesome looking gun. Get a good look at the figure. Now there's something that's a little bit mind-boggling, which is this holster. Now did mine just break? Because it's like flappy. And I don't know how that's supposed to hold this gun, but I guess it's supposed to. If anyone can explain that to me. I can get it in there though, and it does stay, but it just seems and feels kind of awkward. So, I mean, is that really how it's supposed to go? Like, it's just, I don't know, it just seems super weird to me. So, and it stays in there pretty well, but I feel like it's gonna fall out. Kind of strange, but maybe inventive, I don't know. Let's get a good look at that face. Pretty wicked looking, to be honest. I do like it. I like the ski goggles, and the mask is fucking wicked. I do also like this kind of midnight blue that he's got for a shirt. He's got the flak jacket on top. This is all pretty much all gray. Black pants. Of course, he's got the holster down here. He's got the daggers all sheathed up on his right leg. And then we got same thing on the forearms. We have that down on the shins. We got the shin guards down there. There is a boot cut. And then these, actually the forearm guards actually do move around independently without moving the whole arm. So it's kind of a, I guess, movement, articulated movement, but it's kind of free, and I guess you can move the hand the other way without moving this. But then of course we got the, I think, Takagi symbols of some sort. So pretty nice figure, I would say. People are kind of like, meh, you know, very uninspired, not very excited for this figure, but I really do like it. It's a good looking figure. And I mean, as I said in the 80s, I quit collecting by the time this guy came out. You know, I probably saw it in the store and was like, oh, that's horrible. How pathetic is that? They're just trying to string along the Joe fans, but you know, this version is pretty sweet, I gotta say. So yeah, I'd like to look into this holster here. It's just odd to me. It's open, it's flappy. It does seem to hold the gun. It's just kind of strange. Articulation wise, it's the same old stuff. You know, twisty here, shoulders there, we twist all the way around, double jointed knees and elbows. The pivot is different for each hand. This hand, it kind of goes from the palm, so up and down, and then this one is side to side. Go way back like that. So you see the little hinge right there. There is a stomach crunch, but it kind of, yeah, it moves a little bit. Yeah, there's one click at least. This, usually they have these heavy, bulky flak jackets and it gets in the way. You also have the swivel at the waist as well as the twist all the way around. You got the thighs go up like that, or excuse me, the hips on the ball joints, and then thigh cut. Both sides, you got the double jointed pinless knees. And then of course you got the rocker down here at the ankle, you got the tilt, and you got the pivot, which is pretty loose on this foot. Pretty loose on both feet, I'll see. So, just the only head scratcher right here is this thing, but it seems to work, you know. Like I just know I'll be outside, and if I was a kid playing with this, I would not want the gun being held in that holster because it's going to end up in the grass somewhere. So little ones, beware. All right, just a few things to add here. The neck joint, of course, we do have the ball joint that's in the upper torso area that connects to the neck, and then also another ball joint that's at the top of the neck that goes into the head. So just so you know, there's a ball joint here, and then there's another one here. So this does move around. You just want to watch. So, you know, here's like the Adam's apple or the front of the neck, and a lot of the time it'll end up looking like this. And so you just want to make sure that you're getting that big old Adam's apple of snake eyes front and center, giving you 20. So yeah, that's just part of the articulation. It's pretty standard now with the GI Joe Classifieds, which I'm glad. I mean, I think that Classifieds are maybe the best articulated figures that Hasbro is putting out. Marvel Legends is getting there, and they're pretty close, but it seems like GI Joe is kind of taking that extra step, and you know, just doing stuff like, you know, having the different pivots on the wrists for each hand, and of course the neck articulation. I'm not really sure what else there is. I mean, this is pretty cool that these are free moving and that you can move the forearm guards around if you like. I find it interesting that we're getting the version 4. We haven't gotten the version 3 yet. Of course, with Hasbro and GI Joe Classifieds, I guess going in order doesn't matter. It's not like I really give a fuck. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you all of the versions that we got with the Real American Hero line. Now we've gotten 9, including this guy in the Classifieds line. We got the Deluxe, which had like the dojo, and then the version 1, which is basically the same figure. Then we got the Origins, like from the movie Snake Eyes, and that movie kind of stunk it up. Then we got the Alpha Commandos with Timber. We got the Alpha Commandos with Timber Volume 2, where Timber's a little more, I think, gray. Then the Desert Commando, which I have but have not opened yet. Then we got with the Polar Bear, this version 4, and then of course the retro carded version. So that's 9 in the Classified series. But here, check out this little bit about the Real American Hero and a little history of Snake Eyes version 4.
3, 2, 1, go!
All right, so we got all the Real American Hero figure line here. Starting on the left, we got version 1, and then we got a slight repaint version 1 right next to it. Version 2, the one that came with Timber, which was the big deal. Then we got version 3 with the survival knives on the chest. Version 4, which we got now. And then version 5 and 6 were basically repaints from the Ninja Force. Yeah, Snake Eyes was a very popular character. I think he was well utilized for the figures, kind of underutilized in the cartoon, but overutilized in the comic book for sure. Here he is standing in front of his card back. We got that grappling hook that shot out of his back. It actually shot out. We have the gun and the one sword. Here's him in his packaging. Looking awesome. Nice card there. And then just a little look at the back coming up, so you guys can have fun looking at all the different characters that were part of that card back. And that line. And of course, you can see the nice little information file card down below. And then you got the little, whatever, proof of purchase, little American flag thing that you could send in for whatever was being promoted. Awesome memories. All right, kind of free-handing it as we got Snake Eyes up on a stand here. And I actually really like this figure a lot. This is still a head scratcher for me. But after a little research, I've seen, I guess in a few movies, they have these things where like the bad guy just pulls the gun out like all quick and just starts spraying. So I guess that works, but I think in time, that very already soft piece of plastic is going to fail, you know? I think it's just a matter of time, but otherwise, great figure. The paint is great. I really like the dark up here with the blue. You know, it kind of looks like a 90s style Snake Eyes, but at the same time, it looks almost kind of modern to me. I mean, they kind of modernized it, I guess. And I think it looks straight up awesome. You know, people have their issues with these things, the little backpack, double sword sheath, and I don't really. Sometimes they don't stay on because of the flak jacket that he's wearing. So you're basically trying to stick that peg into two holes. I know that sounds fun to some of you, but yeah, it's it's not, because that or that vest can shift, and then, you know, that thing just wants to pop out all the time. But yeah, the paint's good, the articulation is great. I'm not even that sore about this, but it's just kind of seems weird to me. I thought they could maybe take steps to more make it seem and feel more secure, but it is what it is. So this figure's getting a 7.5. I do really like it. The look is great, and I never had this figure as a kid. As I said before, I stopped collecting probably around 1988 of the Real American Hero. I think I got a couple Iron Grenadiers, and I was done. I think Voltar was actually my last figure. So just kind of a little look here. I'm going to do some posing, and we'll do some comparisons, and we'll wrap this very long review up. All right, just a few things to mention before comparisons. It's not a big problem, but very loose on the ankle joints. I mean, it's not terrible. One's a little bit stronger, so it keeps him standing up, but I just gotta kind of watch that. Now he wants to fall backwards before he wanted to fall forwards. So it's all good. It's just gotta watch it, because this joint is very easily shifting like that. Also, we do have the butterfly joints. I forgot to mention that. The shoulder was, it was almost like it was frozen. It's just a little ornery. As you can see, there's a little bit of rub on there, on that joint. So when it goes in here, it's rubbing against something. So, no big deal though. Other than that, I mean, this actually might be my new go-to Snake Eyes. I actually really, really like the look of this figure. I like the blue and the black up here. It looks very like leathery, almost kind of a realistic kind of app. Yeah, I mean, this straight, just gray, could use some like maybe black wash or just maybe some color. just to highlight some areas, but yeah, it is what it is. I do like this. This is pretty cool. You know, this is still, you know, time will tell, I guess. It's just, I don't know. They could have done better on that. I'll say that. But still, 7.5 on this figure. Gosh, is there anything, I mean, to make him better? Yeah, this and, you know, these guys do like to fall out, and I'm learning that. It hasn't really improved much, but it's fallen out like 3 times. It is what it is. Let's jump into some comparisons. So we got version 4 over there on the left, and we're gonna bring in version 1. You remember him way back. This is straight black. I think this was the second figure in the line with O2. Pretty nice figure, but it was like, I don't know, it wasn't really a letdown. Whoops. But it could have been improved, and I hope that maybe we get another version that's way better. Maybe something with the polar bear with like regular gear. You know, I like that look, and I've yet to open the polar bear version of Snake Eyes that will be coming up. And then we got version 2, which I think is kind of everybody's favorite, and I didn't really like this sword here. Seems more like a machete type sword, so I gave him the samurai sword with the gold blade. Not really sure where I got this from, but love this figure, love this version. He's the one that comes with timber. And usually if we're talking about Snake Man or Snake Eyes, we're talking about Storm Shadow. I got the newer version here. I really like this figure, and I did have this as a kid, and it was kind of towards the end, but I just had the original, just all white Storm Shadow, and then this guy with the kind of camo. And I do like this figure a lot. This is a really nice figure. It's a pretty figure. And, well, you know, if we're talking about Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, we might as well bring in Stalker. These guys all serve together. You find out that they're all kind of homies. Pretty neat. So, let's get them all a good shot here. Version 1. Version 2. Storm Shadow, Defector Storm Shadow, and Stalker, the retro carded one with the better, more true camouflage gear. Let's take some of these guys, make some room. And we got the version 1 Scarlet, or version 1 Classified Scarlet. Not a bad figure, and I have the retro I sold off all my Joes, my early Joes. I had like pretty much every figure in the Classified, and I don't know, I just sold it off. I was like, kind of got tired of it. I'm still hardcore collecting, but I'm not buying 2 or 3 of every figure, unless they're army builders. But I do like the face on this Scarlet. People were bashing this girl back in the day when she was released, and I don't know. I think people got to calm down. They tried to do, you know, a modernized look, and, you know, they pulled it off, but I think everyone wants, you know, the stuff that, how they looked in the 80s, you know. They want it to be true to the source material, and yeah, they went that direction. Some other ninjas, we got the Fist, which are like the undead hand ninjas. The Fist. Here with the go. Whoa. There we go. Pretty cool figure. Marvel Legend. And you know, it's kind of nice to make some comparisons with other Snake Eyes type characters. You know, the strong silent type, whatever. I would say that maybe Boba Fett was in that, you know, because he didn't really talk too much. Maybe Mando. But with Boba Fett, I was going to say that until that Book of Boba Fett series, which I mean, I guess I enjoyed it, but I feel very critical towards it. Like there's a lot wrong with it. You know, he's supposed to be a badass and just go out and kill people, but he became a sympathetic character. I don't know. Anyways, we'll get off my obsession and hatred of Star Wars, all things Star Wars. Daredevil, I love this figure. Another ninja type character. He's not mute, he's blind. So, but pretty nice figure. And we might as well throw in Batman. Newer version of, I think this was DC Multiverse by Mattel. Nice big cape. Not a bad figure. Modernized Batman. And another guy I always kind of thought looked and felt like Snake Eyes, and that's Vigilante. DC Comics, DC Universe Classics. You know, he's got those goggles. He's all in black. Really cool design. Got the holster back there with the 6-shooter. This big beast of a gun. So, yeah, I remember it was Vigilante number like 13 or something, where it's him holding that pistol with his two hands, kind of Dirty Harry style. And I was like, oh, that looks like Snake Eyes. Is this comic book about Snake Eyes? So, back in the day. So, guys, that was my review. We got a 7.5 on the version 4 Snake Eyes. It is a nice figure. Couple engineering, you know, problems, I guess. Kind of same old with the Classified series. You know, nothing's perfect. It's just what it is. But this is a nice figure, and I like this blue, kind of purplish blue color. I like the color scheme. The paint's good. Accessories are nice. So I do like this figure a lot. So he will be my front and center Snake Eyes for at least a little while. So, guys, please like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate it all. We'll see you on the next one, all right? Peace out. Better late than never, but for those of you interested, he is at 6 1/8 inch on the height of this figure. So there you go. Freak.